Hey friends, Andy here. How you doing? Good to see you. In this video, I answer your questions. And man, there were some good ones. No, this isn't AskJeeves.com, but I will be your virtual butler, at least for the duration of this video. All right, let's get dangerous.
Let's get dangerous.
Kitty Blaze asks, where do you see bottom? When bottom? So lots of people are seeming to say that we are at the bottom right now, that $17,500 Bitcoin was it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like there's going to be some more pain, but I would love to be wrong. I'd love for that to be the end of the crypto depression. But really, I would be surprised if we went lower than an 85% correction on Bitcoin from its all-time high, which would be $12,000 to $14,000 Bitcoin. But in my opinion, really, the bottom is unknown, but you'll start to see the signs of it when everyone, even your favorite people, seem to be saying negative things about crypto and want to give up and capitulate. But I've been through all this before, so I'm probably going to continue having a positive attitude through it, so don't look for those signs from me. Sorry. Can you give a simplified answer of what is going on in Sphere right now? I'm confused. Thanks. Well, the short answer is you should join their Discord and find out, because I don't even know everything that is going on with them right now. But here is what I do know very high level. They just turned off the rebasing, so it is no longer an inflationary token. There's no longer 100,000% APY. That's over and done with. It's a buy and hold coin for now. However, along with that news, there's a bunch of other news and other things they are launching, including their DeFi products that are kind of competing with one another, where you can earn yields and do all kinds of stuff, kind of the curve and convex wars aspect in the Ethereum ecosystem. But honestly, most all of it is over my head because I haven't spent much time learning all about it. Too many crypto projects and too little time. But I will say this one last thing about it. It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff going on, and there is a lot of stuff going on every single week. Tons and tons of updates. So if there's ever any fear about stuff not happening, that fear can be cast aside because there's a ton going on in there. Next question is from Dangeezy? DangYZ? Dangeezy. That's what I'm going to choose to call you. How long do you think the range-bound NAS protocols like HORDE or Valifi might realistically last? Short answer is, I don't know. Longer answer is, as long as they keep doing good things and keep their communities happy. HORDE's price action is very cool, but it can turn sour in a heartbeat if the entire community turns against them and starts selling every single day. They will exhaust the liquidity amount and the treasury amount very, very quickly. However, as long as they're doing good things, they're bringing more people on as liquidity manager partners, clear communication, everyone's happy in there, it's working as expected, well, in that case, the demand to sell is going to be lower and they can continue maintaining this thing into the foreseeable future. And hopefully, as they keep everybody happy and as that grows, the liquidity manager amount also grows and gives even more runway. But really, stuff like this is an experiment. It's not been done before, at least like this, as far as I'm aware. So your guess is as good as mine. Where do you see the price of ETH in 5 years? Where do you see the price of BTC in 5 years? So I'm not nearly as mega bullish on the Ethereum. I'm not smoking the Vitalik good stuff like a lot of people out there, but I do think Ethereum is probably going to be here for the long haul or longer haul. And in the next 5 years, I can imagine seeing a $10,000 to $20,000 Ethereum price, maybe. As for Bitcoin, well, yes, I am mega ultra super bullish on the Bitcoin. Orange coin go up. And in the next 5 years, I can easily see six-figure Bitcoin. I can definitely picture $250,000 to $500,000 Bitcoin in the next 5 years. But maybe I'm just drinking that orange Kool-Aid a little too much, and maybe I'm way off base. Who knows? But either way, I'm putting as much money as I can into Bitcoin. I'm buying lots of Bitcoin miners. I'm heavy into the BTC. And another great question, some might even say the greatest question ever asked, is, would you mind smashing that like button? Just one quick little press makes all the difference. Also subscribe and hit that bell icon, because when you do those things as well, we become true friends. All right, back to the questions. Next question is from Space Design Warehouse. Hello, Nicholas. If you don't know who Space Design Warehouse is, then shame on you, because it's one of my favorite YouTube channels on YouTube channels. And because I did just say, hi, Nicholas, it probably sounds like I'm speaking to Nicholas, which it is his channel. So now I'm currently telling him that his channel is one of the best on YouTube and he should check it out and should be ashamed if he hasn't. But I'm not talking to him. I'm talking to you, everybody else. Go check his channel out. Space Design Warehouse. It's great. And even watch this video right up here where me and Nicholas went to West Texas and set up a bunch of miners and did all kinds of cool stuff. His question is, what's your next big purchase just for you? Not crypto investment, like a hot tub or a new couch or like a motorcycle or something. Well, Nicholas, no current big purchase plans other than in the next year or so, we want to buy another house, which I guess is kind of just for us, but it's also kind of an investment kind of a thing. Our current house is small and we'd like a slightly bigger house. And I think if there was something very nice that I would buy myself at the new house, it would be a swimming pool. I want to swim laps in my own backyard, but that might just be a pipe dream. We'll see if it ever actually happens. Next question is crypto shopping list ? I'm guessing you're asking what I'm buying right now. What's on my crypto shopping list? What am I checking and then checking it a second time? Well, I'm buying Bitcoin. I just bought one full Bitcoin at around $20,000. I'm gonna be buying more Bitcoin miners, more GPU miners, more other miscellaneous miners during the season. I am looking to add to a few other core positions, like namely my Cadena position. I'm gonna continue to invest in utility node projects. Essentially anything that I see as good value now that I believe is underpriced now and will be a lot higher in the future, or will turn into great crypto passive income. Rich asks, what are your thoughts or strategies for dollar cost averaging when the market is falling as rapidly as it has been? Same course, different course, altered course? I think you get the idea. And I do, Rich. I do very much get the idea. And the answer is that my strategy has changed considerably. During these last few months of bull run, I haven't really been dollar cost averaging into things like Bitcoin and stuff like that. I was kind of waiting to see what happened with the price. Instead, I was investing in other projects and protocols where I thought I could make some money in the shorter term. But in times like this, my strategy focuses very long term. I've turned on the dollar cost averaging for Bitcoin. I started looking at buying bigger chunks. I'm looking at other valuable places to drop my money over a longer period of time, so that very far in the future, 5-10 years, I'll be very pleased with my decision to deploy that capital now. But really the short answer here is you can't go wrong dollar cost averaging over the long haul if you pick the right things, and Bitcoin is one of those things in my mind. Rose asks, what do you think about Celsius and what they have done? What do you think the impact will hold on the community? The trust is completely broken, and if they do allow us to get our money off, everyone's going to pull it off as quickly as possible. So first off, you can watch my video up here on the initial explanation for what's going on with Celsius. But on the whole, I think it's a terrible thing. Celsius is one of the companies that has talked endlessly about you can't trust banks. Banks are bad. You need to unbank yourself with Celsius. Come over here and get a better banking experience. And then they recklessly use people's money and all kinds of things where they can't get the actual liquidity to give people's money back. And when people demand money back, they lock up withdrawals and they tell everybody, well, you sign the terms and conditions. This is part of it. You could just lose your money. So I think all their communication has been terrible, and I think the whole situation is bad. And this is definitely causing some of the freak out and panic that's happening with crypto at large right now. I think it'll be very tough, just like Luna, for them to ever win back trust if they even survive this entire thing without going bankrupt. Do I think the founder or CEO is a con artist or did this intentionally? My gut says no, he didn't do this intentionally, or he's not a con artist, or at least I don't get that impression. But what I do get the impression of is that he's another one of these founders in crypto who his way or the highway, my way is the right way, you can't tell me any different, arrogant to a fault. And now all these tweets and stuff that he's been saying up until this point are coming back and flying in his face because all the things that people warned others about are coming true. It's a sad situation. I hope people get their money back. Sam asks, hi, Andy, my friend. Would you recommend EMP or HORDE to invest? Want to create passive income? Well, of those two, I only have experience with HORDE, so I do like HORDE, but I believe both of those, in my opinion, would fall into the higher risk category. So move cautiously. Both are experiments in DeFi and crypto, but I really don't want to speak too much to EMP because I don't have any experience with it. So my overall recommendation there would be to sure, jump into some of that stuff, but first build a much firmer foundation of crypto passive income that isn't going to fail or turn off overnight, and then layer on some higher risk things on top of that. And by the way, if you want to ask me questions directly anytime, well, then click the link in the description to join Sleep Money Club. I'm in there chatting every single day and answering questions, and it's an incredible educational resource if you want to learn as much as you possibly can during this bear market so you can have super success success going into the next bull market. All right, let's hop back into the video. Danny asks, hey, Andy, what do you think about Gala music nodes? I actually heard they have talked about it on a popular radio station last week. An artist was going to release their music on the blockchain first before releasing it the traditional way. Obviously, Gala has been a very good investment for a lot of people. I'm one of the people who very much regrets not buying a Gala gaming node when I first heard about it, when I could have bought it for like $5,000 or $10,000, because now you have to spend 100 grand just to get one, even in this market. I also miss the music nodes, at least the first round of release of those, but I probably will jump in on the second round. It's a very interesting concept. I think it's got less viability than the gaming aspect, but I am very intrigued to see what happens with it, and the entry point price is much lower, so that's also interesting to me. So I like Gala a lot. I wish I had more exposure in investment terms to them. Next up is a question from Rev. How are you withdrawing back to fiat? Spendable in your account? Do you pay taxes quarterly on your withdrawals? Do you set it up like a monthly, bi-weekly distribution through an S Corp? Thank you for all you do. Thank you for the question, and I'm sorry ahead of time because this isn't going to be probably as detailed as you want it for the brevity of this video, and I'm also not a tax professional, so don't listen to me. So the easiest way to go back to fiat is just to take your favorite brokerage or exchange that allows that fiat connection. For most people, that's going to be Coinbase or Coinbase Pro or like a Binance. For a long time, I was using BlockFi for that, but anywhere you can send crypto, convert it to fiat, and then withdraw to your bank account directly is going to be your easiest path for that aspect. As far as quarterly taxes and stuff like that, that's completely dependent on your tax situation and how you pay, whether it's yearly or quarterly, but you are going to have to pay taxes when you do cash out your crypto. I've talked about this in another video, the short-term and long-term capital gains taxes. These do apply to crypto, and you do have to pay them. And with most of these crypto to fiat brokerages and exchanges, they are going to report the amounts you send through them and sell and cash out to whatever government you're in. So you kind of have to be honest, otherwise they're going to let them know anyways. And the last question, through an S Corp. Yeah, you can do it through an S Corp. You can do it through your LLC. Depends if you're doing like mining and various things. There's ways you can actually write some of these things off as expenses. There's a whole bunch of layers you can get into with tax stuff. And I'm probably, again, not the best person to answer, but hopefully that's a few little leads you can go search on or find, or go find yourself, better yet, a tax professional, because that's what I did and I highly recommend it. Question, I don't hear much about Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Silver, and Bitcoin Gold. What is your take on these coins, and should they be included in someone's main portfolio? My short answer to that is absolutely not. The longer answer is these are all forks, in my opinion, failed forks of Bitcoin to create new Bitcoins that do something different or better. In the case of Bitcoin Cash, it's really faster and used as daily currency and stuff. And I think largely it was a big flop, and there's no added utility or added features to these that make them worthwhile over Bitcoin. I believe most of the reasons that these were created are going to be created on Bitcoin directly. In the case of like day-to-day payments, that's going to be the Lightning Network on top of Bitcoin. So I don't see the point of these. But again, at the very base layer of these, their prices, if you look at them, especially in terms of the Bitcoin values, they are largely down, or some have gone to zero. They haven't performed very well. So I see them as all cheap knockoffs, and I just want the real thing. Andy, what do you use to track your portfolio? I use Delta Investment Tracker. It is an app. It's on iOS and probably Android, but I've been using that for several years and love it. Jeremy asks, understanding this would not be financial advice, but what project of yours that you're currently invested in that you would recommend someone who had around $10,000 to invest? Well, right off the bat, I don't necessarily ever recommend you drop an entire amount like that into one single thing, unless that is the first of many $10,000 investments. But if you're talking about $10,000 total, then maybe you'd split it up, and you can actually watch this video right up here to see how I would split that up into various things to earn crypto passive income. My answer would be slightly different if you're talking about buy and hold with no actual income aspect to it. But more broadly, I recommend splitting it up in such a way that you spend some, maybe even most, on something that is safer in the crypto universe, something that's more medium balanced risk, and then a very small slice that goes into higher risk things. Uncommon Yield asks, what should you do to take advantage of crypto winter? Hello, my friend. How are you doing? And my answer to that is I am buying things at prices that I believe are great deals. $20,000 Bitcoin is a great deal in my opinion. Yeah, it can probably go lower, but I'm happy to buy all the way from 20 down to 15 or 14,000 or lower, wherever it goes. But anywhere in this range feels like a great deal to me. I also think this is a great period to see projects you think have potential that were launched and super hyped during the last cycle that then are managing to survive this section, the bear market section, and as they survive, not actually die. We're going to see plenty of projects just fade away to nothingness during this time, especially if this is a prolonged bear market or turns into a crypto winter. But if there's stuff that was once hyped once upon a time, has decent fundamentals, exists through this period, and the prices are ultra depressed, well then that, in my opinion, is an opportunity. And one last thing, I'm focusing on hardware. I want to buy more GPU miners, more ASIC miners. I want to buy more utility nodes, all things that also are going to be affected by these prices with lower cost to entry, and that could be very, very good plays going into the next bull run. Justin says, just saying hey and keep up the awesome work. Hello, Justin, and thank you. Mining is definitely the future and the best way for passive income that you can hodl. I love mining. I've made lots of money mining. I will continue mining far into the future, mining those digital dollars. Uncommon Yield asks another question, which is what projects are you most bullish on? Well, let me open up my portfolio here and let me say a few names that are probably not a big surprise to you or anyone who watches my channel or follows me on Twitter. But the number one position in my portfolio is still Flux, followed by Bitcoin. My number three position is actually Yield Nodes now, which actually Yield Nodes has been doing great and kicking ass even during this bear market. Next up in my portfolio is Presearch. Love Presearch. Cadena. I still like Raptorium. I still like Pirate Chain. I still like Ravencoin. I still like Conceal. Then a couple that are a little further down, but I am really excited about are Streamer, which I know you are in, and SC Prime, which I am running a node for. And there are plenty of other things too. That's just a few that are in the top half of my portfolio, but there's some that are not even in my portfolio because they don't show up on there yet because they're so new. Jeff asks, are crypto bots still relevant with the recent crash? I have almost no experience with crypto bots, but there are some people who seem to make money with them. The only crypto bots I use are dollar cost averaging bots. Wish I could help you more, but that's all I've got on that. RZ asks, what do you think about the non-node projects, as you call them? Do you think entering some new upcoming ones is a good choice to make quite a bit of money / profits? I've said it many, many times, even during the entire giant hype of the non-node node cycle, but I think most of them are going to fail and cease to exist, especially if a prolonged bear market happens. So I can't really recommend you jump into any of them except for maybe a couple I think are interesting. But what I can say is maybe a good idea is to keep watching them. And as the months roll on, if this bear market continues, see if any of them are still here and don't have a price that's absolutely obliterated. And if that's the case, well then maybe it's worth looking at those a second time. Or pick ones that have a stabilized price like HORDE, which I've talked a lot about, or Valifi is about to launch something similar, but I don't know much about it. Or look at anybody who is partnering with HORDE to use their liquidity manager to stabilize their price, and then decide if that is worth the experimental risk to you or not. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I'm sorry if I didn't get to every single question. There were so many of them, but hopefully I got to most of them. But hopefully you're able to get some value out of that. If you want to see another one of these AMAs, well then watch this video right here where I answered even more fun and exciting questions from you. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.